All right, I got 19 points that I want to make on this what's next in Raid. Now, I know I've seen content creators do this is the first time, let's watch it together, or the first time I've read this kit, we're going to do it live. I've never really understood that. What do you want me to read it live and never think about it for? So I've actually thought this through, and I thought about the different aspects of this, and I got 19 things that I want to bring to you. So right after this.
Hold up. Click the link in the description right now, and you can get the free legendary Karato, as well as one amazing epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps to follow. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim Karato, the lockdown nuker, as well as an excellent support Tagoar as you hit level 15. Click the link now. Let's go!
All right, let's jump right into it. So it looks like, as you can see on the screen, I'm looking at stages 2 through 5. And even on those early stages, you can see it's 4 to 6 star glyphs. So point 1 is doing hard faction wars looks like the easy answer to go after. You don't have, what I was worried about is, okay, do I use my keys on normal or do I use my keys on hard? And I got to choose. And if I can beat stage 20 and 21 on normal, do I lose value while I go after the hard stages? Well, it looks like on stage 2, I don't see stage 1, but on stage 2, it's 4 to 6 star glyphs right off the bat. That's what you get on normal stages 20 and 21, you get 4 to 6 star glyphs. So it looks like for hard, well, yeah, once you can beat hard stage 1, you're kind of done with normal. And it looks like it does have the material drops too. So it's got glyphs, it has materials, and you can get the additional relic materials and stuff like that. So that's at least to me good news. Even if it takes me a month or 7 to get to stage 21 in the hard faction wars, I'm good to start using my keys right away. So rarities of glyphs. So point 2 is on rarities of glyphs. Rare, epic, and legendary. Frankly, it scares me. If that means that what we have now are common or uncommon, and now there's rare, epic, and legendary glyphs, better stats than what the existing glyphs have, that means all of the gear in Raid would just have been power crept. Your speed is with the max glyph of 8 is no longer the best because rare, epic, and legendary are all better. That to me is the worst case scenario. That's power creep to the nth degree, meaning every single piece of gear just got downgraded. Now, however, what that means is one of the most annoying things with glyphs today is you roll a 6-star speed glyph and you can get 1 speed out of that stupid glyph. That is so frustrating. And you use a second 6-star glyph and you get another 1 speed and you just want to throw your PC out the window. If what this means is the greater rarity of a glyph you use, the narrower that range is. So instead of 1 to 8, I can get 6 to 8 on a legendary, and an epic is a guaranteed of 4 to 8. Well, that's actually, now we're talking something. Then I haven't power crept everything in the game, but every glyph I use that's a better rarity going forward would then have better value. That I would be pretty excited for. Now, what they didn't tell us about are drop rates, right? Do you never see a legendary glyph? They just drop once in a blue moon. Who knows? We don't know what the rates will be. But even if they're the latter kind where it increases your percentage and they just drop rarely, well, it's still better than what we have now where I can get 1 to 8. So even if they don't drop that often, it'd still be a win. So the third thing is the new relic group. So I enjoy relics. I think they can add some fun to the game. They add new stats. They add new abilities. They're a little irritating in live arena when you don't know what just happened. You thought you killed an enemy and the enemy's just standing there. Well, is that the relic that kept them from dying? The sheep bounces back. I guess that's a relic. So there's certain things that they can do that's kind of annoying. So I do feel like there's some visibility issues with relics. But getting a new set of relics, in this case, it's just another source in which I can get something that maybe other players have. And Faction Wars is at least key limited. So everybody has an equal chance to get these relics once you have the teams. So relics are there. Special conditions for bosses, 0.5. It's an interesting one for me because they now have special conditions. So to 3-star, you have to beat a boss, under 10 debuffs, or maybe it's have to be a block revive type kill or something. So they may have special conditions. My concern here is that are they eliminating the ability to run these on auto? So if I have to have it meet a certain condition, I can't just go in and kill the boss, which I can just run my keys on auto like we do in Faction Wars today. But if I got to do something special, then that might become manual content, or you got to keep rerunning it to get get it. Now, maybe that means I only need to do it once to get the 3-star benefits once, but what we don't know is, do boss stages offer better rewards than regular stages? So today you can run stage 20 or stage 21 and get an equal benefit. What I don't know is if in this new Faction Wars, if boss stages give better rewards and meeting the conditions meet better rewards and higher drop rates, then that's going to force us to meet those conditions and run boss stages, which could be a time sink and it could be a manual. That makes me concerned for what the impact of special conditions are. So the next thing is a free mythical. So we get a free mythical, Polera Fireheart. Don't know anything about her, can't really say much. The only thing I can say is, well, Lydia's fantastic out of original Faction Wars, so I have to think they're giving us something worth getting. I generally feel like the champs they give us in game, whether that's Mithrala from Hydra, it's blanking Marius, right, from the, whether it's Mithrala from Hydra or it's Marius, they give us some great champs. So I'm pretty optimistic and excited to get another source of mythical here, right? So even if you don't have the luck of primals, at least if you do the grind and you beat Faction Wars, there's a nice prize at the end. So free mythical, no complaints there. So point 7, no energy and no additional keys. So they didn't take energy away for these Hydra, for these Faction War keys, and they also didn't ask us to do 6 more keys. So I don't have to do my normal keys and then go do my hard Faction War keys. So they didn't add time into the game. They're replacing the content if you choose to move up. I think that's a win. So that's all I have on the Faction Wars. Let's move to Siege. So point 8, 90 new defense team slots. That's pretty fascinating. It does have implications for the size of your clan and how strong your clan is. So are you a full clan? Do you have enough players to be able to put all those additional team slots filled? Do you have the depth of teams? I think this adds new dynamics to Siege, which is quite powerful, because today if you only have 2 or 3 defense teams that you can even set, you're only going 8 to 12 champs deep in what you're using. If you got to have 90 defense team slots, you're adding more defenses into the mix, and it does mean deeper rosters potentially being used. And because it says 90 additional team slots, by the way, that's not 90 total, that's 90 additional slots. 90 additional slots is, if you're dividing by 3, that's an extra 3 defense teams. You're going another 12 champs deep. So it does add depth to Siege, which if you're a deep clan with deep players, that can be an advantage to you versus others. But it does challenge you. So for example, on my team, I've got some really strong teams for 2 teams. But if I got to go to teams 3, 4, and 5, I don't have the depth of the mythicals that some of those players out there have. I mean, they're going to pull out the mythicals and the Galatheers of the world, and I don't compete 5 teams deep. So it's going to add dynamics to Siege for sure there, which it adds depth to the game. I think that's a net benefit. But it's going to be a little bit of a shakeout and which teams are great and which teams aren't as we change. The next one is the new tiers. So they added tiers 7 and 8. I like this because it can actually help some of the logjam at the top where you've got some of the top clans that keep fighting each other. So it'll move them up to tiers 7 and 8. It creates more space for other tiers for other clans. So I tend to think whenever they expand the number of tiers that it just spreads out all the competition. That can't be a bad thing. The rewards here, I have to think, were like placeholders though. Are they really going to give us 10 legendary books in the diamond tier? We know Polarium, that can't be possible. And they got 10 legendary books in tier 8, but somehow in tier 7 you have 10 rare books. So when I move up from diamond of 10 legendary, I get 10 rare books. I didn't think everybody's fighting to stay in diamond and not make it to tier 7. So these are in the video, but these can't be the actual rewards. I have to think someone, screwed up, because you shouldn't have put it in. You shouldn't have put fake rewards in here that are that fake and that compelling, and have people going, we're going to get 10 legendary books. I look at that rare book thing in tier 7 and just tells me these aren't the real rewards. We'll see what they are. But that tier 7 can't be worse than the tier below it. So, but at least, hey, new rewards coming, but I think this is just telling us we'll have to see what they are. So, point 10, new victory conditions. They didn't really tell us what those are, but I'm at least optimistic that I think the victory conditions now are poor. It's beat the stronghold or don't beat the stronghold. And, if they clear your whole base but can't clear your last guy in the stronghold and you do, it's victory. And then the fact that that's probably even okay, but the worst part one is if you expand, you upgrade your stronghold and you add defense teams and the other team doesn't, and you both clear both bases, then the team that added more defenses and then lost those battles loses the clash, the siege, even though they beat the other team at a better win rate percent. They'll still lose clash because they added slots, and the next tiebreaker after the number of spots taken is who had the most victories. So if you have more defenses, they can get more victories, they win the siege. So now you have people just not upgrading their stronghold, not upgrading their bases because they want to have fewer defenses. So that's just dumb game design. So hopefully in the victory conditions they solve that. So one point here that's actually a faction wars point I forgot to make, but new unique crafting materials. So we'll get new relics and new crafting materials in Siege. I like that, and I actually wish they had done that in Faction Wars. I don't like the fact they actually give us relics in Faction Wars. I'd rather get relic materials. Because I don't know about you, I'm getting relics from the game, but I don't get any of the materials I need to upgrade those relics. I can level them up, but upgrading them, I don't know where those come from. So I think in hard mode faction wars, I think they should give us the materials that drop at some frequency to be able to upgrade the relics we get. So give us relics through events, give us relics through tournaments, give us relics through Siege, Hydra, Chimera, whatever it is. But give us Faction Wars as the place to go farm materials. So I like that they're doing that in Siege. I don't know what happened with Faction Wars and why they dropped it there. I think that should be there. So point 11, traps. Looks like we have some new mechanics in Siege. Point I have here is this is a big difference between if you can see the trap before you come in as a defense, as an attacking team, or you only get to see it when you're in the fight. And I think by the nature of calling it a trap, I think it's going to be a surprise. That's game-changing in Siege, and definitely is a help to the defense to try and give defense a better chance to win. Because right now you can set the restricted conditions, but as an attacking team, you see the restricted conditions, and you see the defense team. So you can bring in a team that counters that. Well, they're trying to put the element of surprise in with traps. And then they also mentioned somewhere in here that they have the ability to conceal champions and defense and magic towers. So you can tell they're doing some things here to make defense harder to take down, so we don't have as many sieges that are probably clean swept by a team, but to give the defense some natural advantages. So the next one's clan management tools. They didn't give us any detail here, but boy, it'd sure be nice to be able to remove teams, to be able to remove or move teams, better visibility to who has keys left, who's attacked, would probably be point 13. And point 14 for me would be, hey, leave the battle clash details up. It's like when Siege ends, the details are gone. The only thing you can do is go into the defense and see which teams are there and what their records were. But the details of the current Siege attacks, wins, who lost, give us some debrief. Like, I got ability to go in. Like, if I'm in the U.S. and this thing ends 5 hours after I go to bed, I don't know what happened at the end. It'd be nice to go back in and see what happened in the details and get kind of a clan report that sits up for 24 hours like CVC does.
To see where we can improve.
So point 16, which they didn't cover in the video, but I really would have loved to have seen, hey, nothing on ability to watch your clan's battles, ability to see what someone else did, ability to watch a replay even if it's not live, nothing on kind of new functionality that would be cool to see. So point 16 is the leaderboards. Great, you'll be able to see what the best 100 people in the entire globe do in certain areas of the game. I really don't know what that does for me as not in the top 100. So for most of the player base, too exciting. I would love to see them add things like special conditions, who did it with rares, who did it with epics, add some flair to it, who were the level 50 accounts that had the best time or the best scores or best damage or best times, fastest run, fewer turns. So give us some filtering options, 50 and under, 50 to 75, 75 to 100 level people. So I can at least see as I'm progressing, how am I doing versus the competition and progressing? It's not just the end game, Krakens that fill these boards up and they become irrelevant for the rest of us. So the next one's community weeks, which we get a free legendary. Everybody likes free legendaries. So no detail on what the free legendary does, but and in the free login champs, I would say there's been a mix, right? I mean, you get Syl, who's fantastic. I really like Eric's. I think Eric's is great. But there are, Cleopteryx, okay. There's some other legendaries. I mean, some of those are epic. The worst ones are probably the epics, like Lordly Legionary, who's horrible. So I feel optimistic though, since this is a new Advent calendar, reward calendar. I'm optimistic this legendary is going to be pretty good. So point 18 though is you have to log in every day to get these specific rewards, but they did say the fragments will be available until the Advent calendar ends. I am fascinated to see though if the Advent calendar ends with the last fragments you need for this legendary, and they said you have to claim them before the calendar ends. Do I have to be there on the last day to make sure I claimed all of these rewards and it doesn't go away and I didn't get that last day? I have to think they cover that, but this is Plarium and we've seen bad implementations on things, so I'm telling you what, I'll try and log in every day, but on that last day with the fragments sitting there, I'm going to be grabbing those. I'm not going to find out that I didn't get my last fragments. Have to think they'd have to adjust that if half the player base didn't get them and people freaked out, but I still don't want to be the one to find out. All right, last one is we get to vote on which of these relics we actually want to get. I think there's a couple of good ones in here, but to me, hey, grab the Wand of Submission. Vote for that thing. I think that's hands down the winner. It's got the best impacts and it has additional speed on it. So Wand of Submission would be the one I'd pick. So big picture, if I just step back from the update and raid, there's some features in there I would have loved to have seen, but overall, I have to say it's a free mythical, it's a free legendary, it's a new game mode with hardware faction wars that don't take energy and don't take more keys, so don't take more time, and we just get better rewards for doing faction wars. It adds something to go do in the game that can be fun and hopefully takes some time to do. Better glyphs, you get community events which don't take additional energy, and more rewards for your time. So overall, I have to say, really good update from my perspective. I'd love to see them focus on quality of life things in the game. If I could ask for anything, it would be more quality of life things just to speed up time and take time out of the game and speed up stuff and make stuff easier to do in the game. That's what I'd love to see the next update and raid on. But short of that, I will take more rewards for the time we are putting into it. So anyway, hey, those are my thoughts. If this was helpful to you, I definitely love a like and appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great day.